Hey, what's going on over here? What's going on, guys? I am so sorry, but I totally forgot to shoot the intro for the Let's Talk About Cars show this week. And for those of you who are new to the channel, which is a lot of you, thank you for everything. Let's Talk About Cars is just a show where we talk about cars. In today's episode, though, we have a guest star, or a guest appearance. Not a guest star, just a guest appearance. And that's Parker from Vehicle Virgins. So with that said, I'm Alejandro. Let's Talk About Cars, yo. Hit it, Pedro. I'm sitting here in the car with Parker, obviously, and I figured you make that show where you copy me, the Let's Talk About Cars show that you've been doing for I don't know how many years.
Yeah, 5 days after I saw all his videos.
What's new in the car world? What cars excite you? What cars don't excite you? Numero uno, because you're a Lamborghini guy. The new Superleggera that's coming out.
The Huracan?
Thoughts? Yes.
I'm gonna hate it because it's gonna be better than my Huracan in every way. But I think that's the car to get instead of the new Aventador S, whatever the hell that is.
100%. Now, whenever they make these Superleggera editions, they're so f***ing stiff. To the point, like the Gallardo, you can't get in the car and be comfortable for more than 30 minutes.
I mean, it'll probably have 5 more horsepower, it'll weigh 2 pounds less, it'll have a wing, and then it'll be 50 grand more. Think of it that way.
Lamborghini follows that, then that's a good car. I like that. It comes with a wing already. It's a limited, not limited edition. People love that in a Lamborghini.
And I'm sure it'll look cooler, the performance will be like just marginally better, and then it'll destroy the values of all the normal Huracans.
More than they already have.
Yeah, but less than what McLaren does to its owners every 5 seconds.
But you know, I now figure that out with McLaren. Now the P14's coming out.
Yeah.
And yes, McLaren did come out with a brand new car every year and was one of these to everyone. This is why I bought this other LT.
Okay.
Because I figured that now they have their line figured out. The MP4 was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
They hated the design. They hated that the car was so good and boring.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make it more edgy. So they went in with a redesign, but that's still their 458, if you will, platform, right? The 458. The 650S was the same continuation of that platform. They had to keep the design evolving. So the LT just became their specialty.
Yeah.
And the P14 is the 488, the brand new car. Now that there's a proper lineup set up already, and you know which ones are the limited editions, which ones are the special ones, now you can buy a McLaren and make a little bit more sense.
They came out with the 458 in 2010, and then they're making the 488 now, and I don't know if it's a 16 or 17 model. So you had 6 or 7 years before your car was useless.
Oh,
now you've got the 650S is made for 2 years, and then you've got a new one already.
No, that was a huge fuck up on McLaren's part. They literally were like, we hate the number of the first car that we made. I think. I don't know if they did, but
I don't like it.
I think they did. No one does, dude. It looks like a Lotus.
Yeah.
The car was impressive, but it looks like a Lotus. I think they just went back to the drawing board, but like, you know what? Let's just bite the bullet on this one. Feel bad for everyone that bought one, but it's the name of the game. You're buying a brand new car from a manufacturer that's coming back after how many years? And I think that P14, if everything that everyone's been telling me every time we go to those shows, that car should demolish.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be insane.
Everything on the road. 918 included, P1 included, everything. Do you remember when the GT2 RS came out and destroyed everything else? That's what the P14, and then they're saying the GT2 RS is gonna be the next one to do that.
Well, what do you think about, they make so many limited editions, special editions, so they're like, oh, we're gonna make just 500 coupes. And then they're like, whoa, now we're gonna make 500 spiders. And then we're gonna have the Carbon series.
On the LT, they made 1,050 something cars total. It's not that bad.
But I think if you bought
I understand
a coupe LT and then all of a sudden someone has a high sport.
No, the high sport is the annoying one because they made more cars. They didn't cover with the same amount of cars to make the HSs.
Yeah.
Which they could have just easily just grabbed 25 cars and said these are going to be HS cars. But instead they did that, and then the LT, the Carbon series. Why can't you just include it in the last batch of LTs?
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere.
But it's the same shit. They just made more cars, and sadly they just need more badges.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I hate that. Just tell me up front what your plan is with that lineup.
Maybe they don't know their plan. They're acting like a startup company. They're just like, one day, let's make a new McLaren today.
Yes, and also they have the syndrome of the technology companies now, where they can't reveal what they're coming out next year because they're afraid that someone's not going to want to buy the current one and wait for the next one.
Yeah, they're on the iPhone 10 already. They're trying to sell the 7 even though
that's right.
They know how much better the P14 is than this.
Yep, Hypercars. I'm excited about the Nebula, but that Mercedes Hypercar is supposed to be all F1 technology, the X1.
Oh, I haven't heard much about that actually.
They're saying they're only going to make like 300 of them, and only very few are going to make it to the US, and they're going to be $2 million.
Oh,
Four-cylinder with 4 battery motors.
Wow.
And they wanted to do a 1-to-1 power-to-weight ratio now.
Oh, damn. Yeah, because they kind of haven't really made above a supercar level since, I guess, the McLaren SLR.
But the SLR was also a huge flop, no?
Yeah. I think it was too heavy, didn't handle that well.
Have you driven one?
No.
Oh, you would know right away.
Really?
Yes. They're so heavy, and they don't handle for The moment you light up the gas, the wheels go mad, and you start like going sideways.
That's classic Mercedes.
See? Exactly. You get all the brutal power from it, but that's just a Mercedes. Yeah, but Mercedes now coming out with this one, they're borrowing everything from their F1 technology, like they used to do back in the day. Ferrari's saying that they're still grabbing F1 and their FXXK's cars.
Yep.
Have all of that. I call bullshit on that. You know who the new Ferrari is, right? McLaren.
Yeah.
You know who Ferrari's now? Aston Martin. It's amazing.
You said that. Why is that?
Because they're not the fastest. They're not race cars anymore. They're luxury, very contained cars like GTs.
I haven't driven the 488. I imagine it's pretty awesome.
It's amazing.
And it sounds like they've made turbochargers not actually destroy the sound of a V8.
Oh no, they totally destroyed it.
Oh, they destroyed it.
Yeah. Whoever says that, no, this is just a little muted, he's completely full of shit. It's night and day from one to the other.
Yeah.
The 458 to the 488. The 458 feels like this car. It's loud. You can't hear anything you're saying.
Yeah.
The 488 is a GT. It's an Aston Martin.
I think all supercars they're struggling between making it a daily driver, basically, that you can take out whenever, and still making it fun and exciting at the same time.
There's no commitment from the brand. Like, I'm really just going to stick to this.
Yeah.
They're
exactly.
like, let's please everyone.
One company comes out with a car that's good for everyone, and then Ferrari's like, oh, maybe we should steer that way. And then McLaren makes an LT, and they're like, oh, shit, we need to make it more intense again.
But that's the problem. I don't feel like they have a path. McLaren came in to be the #1 racing car. That's what it feels like, right? These are weapons. Even the 570.
Yeah. No, that was a fun car.
That is an incredible car. The P1, obviously. And Ferrari's got what? The F12? Gentleman's car.
Yeah.
The 488 now? Gentleman's car.
And you have to buy a California T to even get a new Ferrari, so...
Don't even get me that. I think those days are going to be long gone.
I hope so. That's one of the things I don't like about Ferrari. I love their cars, but the pretentiousness and let's force you to buy a car that we can't sell on our own, so...
They can't.
We'll force you to buy it.
They were brilliant to do it back in the day, but now there's too many options.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, McLaren, Porsche, because Porsche used to be so boring back in the day. It's still boring compared to like the flamboyancy of these other crazy cars, but it's now like way more edgy than before.
I'm excited to see when Porsche comes out with something above a GT3 RS or Turbo S that fills the gap between that and the 918 that actually becomes a true Ferrari Lamborghini competitor.
They're saying they're going to do a mini 918, like, you know, the RSR. They're saying they're going to build one of those for the street. If that's the case, that's going to everything. And they're saying that'll be a hybrid too, like the 918.
They're definitely taking F1 technology to a certain degree and bringing it into cars. Although I feel like F1 has so many rules now that it's no longer the pinnacle of automotive engineering. It's like the pinnacle of what we can build within the rules.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of innovation, but it's really trapped. And you've got cars from 20 years ago that are lap the track faster than ones of today, just because they weren't worried about people dying. Which, I mean, I guess that's probably good, but it makes it more exciting.
Did you ever see Gladiator?
Yeah.
Pretty exciting movie.
Yeah, it was exciting.
A lot of people died.
Would I be in it? Probably not.
Probably not.
But I'm not going to be an F1 driver.
I'll be the guy pissing myself right at the door when they're about to open the gate for the Lions. Just pissing myself. Guys, thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate it. But I'm not going to leave you before you tell me in the question of the day and answer that in the comments down below. What is the car that you're excited about the most for this upcoming year and why? To me, P14, I think it's just going to rule. I want to see what McLaren is evolving into, because that's going to show us the new lineup technology on everything, I think. And that's the one for me. What about you guys? Thank you so very much for watching. 2016 was great with you guys, and I know 2017 is only going to get better. I know a lot of you guys are wondering about the format of the show and the Hotbox Hot Topics. Don't worry about it. You'll see what we're going to turn them next year. Very, very shortly. We're very, very close to that. So, yeah. Thank you so much for everything, guys. Hope you have a wonderful new year. Take care. Love you all. Bye.